Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Getting Early's podcast. Today I'm joined by Welsh international, Everton under 18s captain, Rhys Hughes. Welcome.
Yeah, Gaff, how's it going?
I'm all right,
Good
mate.
to be
How are
on.
you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Nice and early this morning on the podcast.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I last seen you, mate. We're just discussing a little bit there now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, I know you through my brother. You're one of my brother's mates, so we just saying, obviously, with lockdown, that hasn't helped either. But yeah, it must have been a fair few years ago since I last seen you, so good to
Yeah,
see you on the camera.
I know, mate. As I say, I think I first met you'd been about 9 or 10 years ago. It would be Ellis's 18th birthday. We were going to Chester.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, well, yeah, you would have been a year younger than what I am now. So I remember looking at you thinking that, you used to be massive and that, but obviously I was young back then, but now you're even bigger now, aren't you?
yeah.
Bigger age
So,
now.
2 seconds. Wait a minute. That's just gone off. There we go. I can see again now. Sorry, someone just rang my phone, so it went through
No
to
worries.
the laptop. But yeah, so you've had quite a journey so far, mate. Sorry, it's just ringing me again. There we go. Yeah, you've had quite a journey with the football.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, started off when I was as young as I can remember, just kicking the ball around in the garden and stuff. My nan and granddad's garden, and playing around and that, and then eventually joined Britfield Rangers, which my mum and dad ran. So it was just a little local team, and then from there, at the age of 5, I was going around all the clubs, trialing them. United and Wrexham around here, Everton, obviously. And then we decided, I think when I was about 7, to join Everton properly because we thought it was the best thing for me. And then I haven't looked back since. So I've been there since I was about 5 or 6.
So what was that like then? So as you were progressing, as you're getting older, obviously the amount of players you must have seen come and go in Everton as well. What was that like being surrounded by that sort of level, if you get me?
Yeah, yeah. When you look back, you don't realise that it is quite easy for them to just let you go and things like that. So you got to impress. And I've never had the easiest journeys, as a lot of footballers haven't. But you see, there must have been hundreds of players I've seen come and go. So to outlast and stay there until, well, I'm at least 19. Is a good achievement, I think. So it's been good.
Yeah, and we all know, and I'm going to put it on the podcast as well, that you've got all your skills from Tozzer. He's taught you everything you know, and he will still claim to this day that he taught you everything and not Ellis.
Yeah, no, it was, I've got to give credit to Ellis as well. It wasn't all Tozzy. I can't give him all that. But yeah, my brother and Tozzy used to hang on a lot when I was little. I can't remember how little, probably when I was about 5 or 6, to be fair. And he used to, come in the garden with me and play a lot. So yeah, I have always said, to be fair, yeah, he has helped me along the way.
And when you go to a club like Everton, you said you've trialled at United, Wrexham, and stuff like that. But when you start making Everton your home and you start settling in, but like with contracts and stuff like that, how do you go around like not worrying about the contract, just worrying about the game sort of thing? Because there's that anticlimax sort of thing. Like you need to impress to keep that
Yeah,
contract going, but you also need to worry about now. How do you deal with that?
yeah. To be fair, I think when you're little, you're not too stressed out. 'Cause, you're just playing football because you're enjoying it, as we are now, obviously. But I think there's a bit more to football than just playing now and there with different things. But yeah, back then you just turn up, play the game, and enjoy yourself. So you're not too worried. Obviously, you know that you've got to play well and stuff to keep going, but you don't really put too much pressure on yourself. You just enjoy it, and then it goes from there, really. And then obviously, I think when you get to around, I think it might be 14, where you get the proper first, like decision, you could say, of whether you're staying on or being released. So I think that's when it starts to kick in. Like, right, this is it now. It's real. I've got earn contracts and stuff like that. So yeah, I think up to about under 14, I think you just enjoy it, go with the flow, and just play football. But then when you do get some under 14s and onwards, and especially now and stuff, it's serious.
So, am I right in thinking you signed your professional contract with Everton? Was it with Ancelotti, or was it just before?
I think I signed it in January, the 1st of Jan, I think, 2020, or the 4th of Jan. So it was the start of the new year. I can't remember if he was, and I think he was, if I'm honest. I think he'd just come in a few weeks before, I think.
What was that like then? Because I've read an article not too long ago that David Unsworth did in the Echo, saying that you're worth your weight in gold, and the talent that is behind is incredible. But what was that like then? So Ancelotti signed James Rodriguez back for Everton and stuff like that, and then to get a professional contract with that sort of structure and that sort of name of a manager, what was that like for you you must have been what, 17, 18 then?
Yeah, 18, yeah, it's good to be fair. Like you see how the quality of players that have come in, and obviously the manager that came in at the time, how good it was. So it was exciting, for the whole club, the staff, players, everyone. And it makes you want to get up there more to train with the types of them players. If James Rodriguez is training, you'd be dying to get on the pitch with him. And as with all the other players, with top players. So it was really good to be signing at that time. It was a good time for the club, I think.
You mentioned like being on the pitch then, but who's the best player you've trained with then? Because obviously you've got the Welsh camp as well. You've got Bale on that. If you've trained them, you've got some players.
I haven't trained with the Welsh first team. So I haven't seen them yet. Hopefully one day, but I think Everton. Trying to think who was good. Obviously they're all good. Not who was good. Obviously they're all good. You know what I mean? A top standard. But I'm trying to think who stood out. I think to be fair, they were all really good. I think. I'm actually trying to think here. Who stood out? I can't really think of one that stood out, if I'm honest.
No.
They were all good. We were just doing like shape and that for the game upcoming. So there wasn't much time to see it a proper session. But yeah, I think they were all top players.
And with there's obviously the new manager coming in now. How are you excited? Obviously, Rafa's won everything that's needed with Liverpool.
Yeah.
To now come to Everton, what's he got to do to impress the Everton fans? Because obviously, he's done it at the opposite. I mean, he's done it with the rivals, and he's do it at Everton.
I think winning games, to be honest, that's the be all and end all at the end of the day, isn't it? Winning football matches. So I think if he's winning and he's got to buy into what Everton's all about, and the values that's in the club. I think if he doesn't, then but if he does, I think Everton fans will love him. I think that's the thing with Everton fans, as long as the manager buys into what they want and what they want to see, I think they'll really like him, and hopefully he'll bring a trophy or something to the club.
Like an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup or something like that, would be a trophy. I think when was the last time, in 1985 or something, Everton last won their trophy?
1995, I think.
95, right. Sorry, yes.
Just some silverware, I think, would be brilliant. So I think he's won a lot in the game, and so he's experienced. So as long as he's winning games and stuff, I think he'll be good for Everton.
And with the youth side of things, you seem to have a lot of success. I've seen some of the on your Instagram quite often. I see the goals and the skills and this, that, and the other sort of thing. But as your position, who do you try to, obviously from the past or something, do you try to replicate? So you've got different sort of footballers. Who's your one footballer right? That's the sort of style I want to play.
I think the style. I think in my position, as an attacking mid, I think De Bruyne's the standout for me at the moment. The way he passes, he crosses, his shooting's crazy with both feet. His all round play is just top draw in it, and he's a brilliant player. So I think the style, I think, that's the play you'd want to play like if anyone in my position. And I think because I'm not the quickest, I think I have to be better on the ball and stuff like that. So I think that's the same with De Bruyne. If I'm honest, obviously he's got a burst of pace, but he's not a Sterling or someone like that in the City team. So I think he's that good with the ball that makes him so good. I think that's what I'd have to be, better with the ball.
And so obviously COVID struck last year, but then moved, do you feel that has held any of your progress back at all? So obviously in the Echo and stuff like that, mentioning with the gym and stuff like that,
Yeah.
do you think that has held you back at all, or do you not think like that about it and think
a little bit. Yeah, obviously we haven't been able to do proper double sessions and things like that, and getting in the gym when we want and doing the things we normally would and getting proper recovery, etc. It's a bit in it was last season, because of COVID and how bad it was last year in a way. Hopefully it's coming to an end now, but still got to be safe in that. But yeah, I think we could have had more sessions than that, but with COVID we weren't able to. So it might have, but at the same time I think I progressed a lot last season. So hopefully this season with COVID settling down a bit, we hope we'll be able to get more double sessions in, more sessions in the gym, things like that, and hopefully I'll see the progression this year.
In your position, I mean, as I kind of touched there, you score some goals. I mean, every time I go in, it's kind of like scored a goal, assist, score, assist. But what has been your standout goal that you've scored? Maybe for Everton, might be for Wales, might be just be a big game that was a tap in, but I mean, it counted to beat.
I think one that stands out is I scored a free kick on my debut for Wales in the 19s in the last minute. I only came off actually about 5 minutes, and then there's been a free kick in the last minute, and I've fancied it, and I've put it in the bottom corner. So that was a nice one. I think this year the goal against Liverpool, that was a good one. I think that's the earliest goal I've ever scored. I think it was inside a minute, and I don't think they had to touch the ball before we even put it in the net. And I was involved in the build up and then put it away. Well, it wasn't the most spectacular goal. Didn't it hit the top corner, but at the end of the day, it's a goal against Liverpool in a derby, and it was a good goal. So I'll take that, I think.
Weirdly enough, I showed one of my clients that goal yesterday off your Instagram. That's really, really strange because you mentioned about, I said that you were coming on today, and he's like, "Oh, have you got any footage?" And I showed that goal, which is really weirdly enough, because I remember looking at the clock going, it's only been 58 seconds actually. I thought it was the middle of the game.
Yeah. I don't think they even had to touch the ball, but maybe from kick off. But yeah, I think it was too soon. It was straight in, 1 minute
in. No messing about whatsoever, was it?
No.
Excuse me. So in the next 12 months sort of thing, obviously with Everton and with Wales and stuff like that, do you see yourself breaking into that first team, becoming or just focusing on that and the 19s and just taking them? What's your sort of goal with it?
I think this season within the 23s at Everton, I think it's all about starting games, getting minutes, and then impressing when I'm playing. I got impressed to be able to get near with the first team, and I think that's obviously the end goal, isn't it? Getting in and around the first team. I want to be training, every day with them if I can. That is what I want to happen, but it's not going to happen by just being put on a plate. You got to go out there and prove to them why you should deserve a shot in the first team, even if it's just training, and then you don't know what can go from there. You know, football's a weird game. You see some stories and that, which, you know, it could happen to you at the end of the day. You don't know, do you? So I think just gotta play well for the under-23s, you know, impress Unzi and John Ebb and stuff, and Marcel and people at the top, and hopefully Rafa at the end of the day.
You mentioned that train with the first team every day. How often do you train with the first team? Is it?
No, I've only trained a few times, you know, on the odd occasion. But that's what I'm saying, you know, when you've trained them, when I've trained with them them times, it makes you want more of it. It's a desire to want to do it more. It's good to be involved, and you know, it drives you on to want to be there every single day if you can.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Where you go from being a captain on the under-23s and in the 19s and that, and then to go to such a different level of experience. And you got World Cup players,
Yeah, exactly.
national players. You got Pickford now, who's number one in England.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the Everton squad now, I think every one of them are international players, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of them are. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, obviously, I was under 18s captain, and then moved up to the 23s, which is like the reserves, basically the step below the first team, and then you go up one more and have a training session with them, and it's like, wow, this is the standard I've got to get to. And like I said, it just makes you want to be there more. It's a great environment, you know. All the first team lads are really good, to be fair. So yeah, it's good.
And you also mentioned Unsworth and John Ebb and all them. What are they like as coaches and managers? Because obviously, you're surrounded by them daily.
Yeah. No, yeah, really good. You know, they've helped me come on a lot this year. I think we haven't been able to do as many sessions as we'd like with them. You know, getting into the nitty gritty and stuff. But what we have been able to do in training and in the matches, that has been really good. You know, they've helped my game come along massively, I think, this year. And I read that, you know, Lindsay wants me to get bigger and stronger and faster, and that's what I've been trying to do. So, you know, you got to impress the coaches to be able to, you know, want the chance with the first team. So that's the main thing this year, is impressing Lindsay and John Ebb. And yeah, it's been really good to work with them every day.
So you mentioned getting bigger, stronger and faster. How would you go around doing that then? Because obviously you mentioned that you read that. Was that like a conversation that was had as well, or is it just read it, right, taken on board, let's go sort of thing?
No, yeah, obviously, personally, I know that, and you know, I know that's what one thing I need to do, and obviously reading it has just confirmed it even more. You know, that's something that I've been working hard on this pre-season on my off time. You know, being to the gym nearly every day and stuff, and been really hammering the weights and stuff, and the sessions that have been put on for us. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do, definitely.
And do Everton give you like a program to follow, like a strict workout routine sort of thing to follow, to benefit you as well?
Yeah, we've got like sessions and that they want us to run in, and then obviously we've got 3 gym sessions, like uppers, lowers, and then like power sessions, which will help you speed. So, you know, we are in the gym. We've been in the gym for years now with the 18s. You know, I think 16s and 15s we're in the gym. Obviously 23. So we know all the exercises that'll benefit us, but they're just down in paper, you know, to help us go through them.
And with your nutrition side of things as well, you obviously have someone at Finch Farm, am I right in thinking, do all nutrition, food and stuff like that. And when you're at home, do you have something to follow, or how do they work with that?
We don't have anything to follow massively. No, obviously Dan, the nutritionist, he's good, to be fair. And if we wanted something to follow, he'd make one up, you know. But I think we you know, you got to take on yourself to try and do what you can at home and stuff, and especially like I think the main thing is the day before games and the day after games, you know, carb loading it, etc. But yeah, you got to look after yourself at the end of the day. And Dan, the nutritionist, if we ever needed any advice or anything like that, he'd be there for us. Yeah.
And when you're saying about carb loading and stuff like that,
Yeah.
what does a game day look like for you? So let's say it's 3 o'clock kickoff. What does your nutrition look for you then? When it comes to 3 o'clock kickoff, what's your breakfast, lunch, snack? Do you have during games? What's your little?
Yeah. Well, yes, obviously we'll pretend that there's no COVID and we can get in the canteen and that in Everton. So I think I'd be up nice and early. I'd probably have beans on toast in the morning or beans on bagel, anything like that with a cup of tea or something like that in the morning. And then if we were there, if the game was at 3, we'd be eating about 12 in Everton in the canteen normally. And I'd probably have pasta and chicken with some sauce, and then as many bottles of water as I can before a game. You gotta get the water on. So yeah, like I said, beans on toast in the morning, maybe a bit of egg or something, and then chicken and pasta at 12 o'clock, and then about an hour and a half before a game, I like to have just like a half a grenade bar. I've just done it since the start of the season, only half. Just don't know if it has any benefit, but it's just something that I think it's just a superstition. If I'm honest, I'll always just have half of it just to give me that extra boost of I don't know what, but yeah, I think obviously you got to get the carbs in with your pasta and your toast and stuff.
And during games, do you have like them like sachets, the gels or anything like that, or?
Yeah. So we have water, energy drink, and we'll have the sachets if wanted. I don't normally tend to take them. Sometimes they're normally offered around half time, but for some reason I haven't took them. But obviously, if there's a benefit to them, I'd definitely think about taking them.
The from my point of view, the benefit would be it's a burst of energy. It's quick carbohydrates, so it's a little bit like a Haribo sort of effect.
Yeah.
You doing sweets quickly and have a lot of energy, like a burst of energy. And I was on a seminar with someone who, a nutritionist who did a study case with Everton and with England ladies, where they put the sports gels around the pitch, dotted around the pitch, and at 60 minutes, someone, I won't say faked an injury, but went down with an injury, and they all took the extra energy on board.
Yeah.
They've been drilling throughout training, drilling throughout practice and stuff like that, and it'd be something that they were looking at. And at 60 minutes, they started to fatigue, and the energy levels then for the next 30 minutes was ridiculous. And from this little energy thing, my thing with them is that sometimes it can play in your stomach a little bit if you're not used to them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't like the feeling like it is with a gel. I think it does. I think is it gonna be in my stomach, and I don't like anything really. I don't like feeling too heavy or anything when I'm running.
And that's the same effect I got when I was doing running and stuff like that. Was I did a half marathon and I've never took these gels before. Decided to take a handful of them, and throughout I just felt horrible. If you train enough with them, you get used to that feeling. It becomes a norm. But it's one of them which, like, obviously a lot of people will want to know about the nutrition within footballer, about to know knowing training schedule. So your nutrition, game day, stuff like that. Do you know the day before? Have you got like a like you mentioned superstition a little bit there? Have you got anything like that? Like the night before, you'll always have this, and this, or is it just like?
No, I think the day of the game, I'm very like I'll have the same stuff normally. The day of the game, I think before a game's important as well. Like the night before, I'll probably have some toast and that. I think when we go away, on away games and stuff in hotels and say it's Brighton away, for instance, 6-7 hours away, we'll stay over the night before. And I think that's probably easier because it's right in front of you to see, what's good for you. So it's whatever you eat from there is gonna benefit you. But when I'm at home, if I can have some toast, I think that's one thing that I do need to improve the day before game maybe, because it can help you. I think when we do go away or we're in Finch Farm normally, I think apple crumble and custard we always have the day before a game. So that's fun that we have the day before a game. Yeah.
What's the best stadium you've played at yourself?
I'd say the Emirates.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Atmosphere, or just the fact that it was just...
No, just the size of it. Obviously Goodison Park's brilliant, and I think if it was a full stadium, I think it'd definitely be Goodison Park. But the Emirates was it was amazing.
Like, imagine it just like seats everywhere, just loads of
Oh,
them.
it's crazy. You stand in the middle before the game, and it's just like, wow, I think it's 60 odd thousand. I think so. You could imagine it full and how intimidating it could be.
Okay, then what's the most intimidated you've ever felt then? What game have you actually felt, I don't want to be on here? You might have done an Ellis and faked an injury and come off or something.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I've ever been that intimidated, to be honest, on a pitch. I think we played a few pre-season games in against like some local Liverpool men's teams, and they have like Prescott Cables and City of Liverpool, I think it was. And they have a few fans, right close to you from corners and that, and they give you a bit of stick. But it was quite funny, if I'm honest. It wasn't. It was a little bit intimidating, but I enjoyed playing in front of a bit of a crowd, if I'm honest.
I used to work in Prescott, and I remember going after work. We went for a pint, and a load of their fans came in.
Yeah,
we are Prescott Cables or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be a bit of a...
Yeah, it was funny.
Do you feel like closer grounds echo a little bit more, and you can actually hear what people say a bit clearer?
Yeah, like them grounds we played at, like the Prescott Cable, you can hear every little thing that they're saying, even when they're just saying something to their mate next to them. If you're near enough, you can hear what they're saying. So, but a lot of them like to shout on them.
Negative comments then. So if someone said to you, this, that, and the other, how would you feel? Just ignore it?
I think I like him in a way. I think you just got to laugh them off. And I think if someone's giving you negative comments, it makes you want to put one in the top corner even more. It drives you on a bit. So I think if they're saying nice things, it wouldn't be as you wouldn't want to score as much, I don't think. So yeah, I think when they're saying a few dodgy things to you, you want to score against their team even more, I think.
It's quite similar to the Ronaldo effect, isn't it? Because was it the Hungary manager that said that that Messi was better than Ronaldo?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And Ronaldo's like, well, I'm just going to want to... It just makes me want to score more and makes me more ambitious with every negative comment that gets made.
Exactly.
It's that sort of effect. So when you obviously were growing up into becoming a footballer and all that, who was your inspiration then in football?
Ronaldo, 100%.
Yeah.
I think me and Tozzer used to have the spike. Yeah,
still have it.
Yeah, exactly. So I've grown out of that. I think you still must be a Ronaldo fanboy, but now, the spike, and different things he'd do, I'd just follow him no matter what he did. If he put a banana on his head, if he did it, I'd be doing it in the garden. Anything, anything that he was doing, I was doing, because I did like him that much. I still do, I think he's amazing. Best player in the world for me, definitely. But yeah, I think he was always the one, especially with him playing for United as well.
And so Ronaldo's style of football is quite unique in the way that he's abnormal, isn't he? He's not human. He's just like the fact that the jump on him and the skill, everything like that. How would you work around building that sort of mentality, and I won't say physique as such, because it's just like it's not even 1% of the world can achieve that.
Exactly.
Having that such strong mentality of, the amount of setbacks he's had or his life, to keep coming forward. How would you work on that yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think I think you need the people around you, like your family and stuff, to help you through like the setbacks and stuff. And I think the key is not to get too low, no matter what happens. I think I think I go by the saying of everything happens for a reason. If something does happen, there's a reason to it. I think that I do believe in that. So I think if you do have a setback, I think it's all about wanting to prove a person wrong or something that's happened, wanting to make it right in a way. So I think you just got to have the desire to want to change the outcome of what made the setback happen.
And obviously, a lot of footballers do suffer a lot of injuries as well, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it could some obviously get career-ending injuries and stuff like that, and especially when they're young, it's horrible to see that effect come up. Do you know what I mean? Where a player does and stuff like that. And as you mentioned, having a family and stuff around you, and I know you're quite close as a family, and I know your mum and dad have travelled far and wide, taking you to training, taking you to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mate, Ellis used to pretend to take you to training so you didn't have to come on nights out with us. So he used to tell us that he had to take you to training. So
no, it's okay. He did take me to quite a few sessions. That maybe once or twice he might have pulled your leg a bit, but yeah, he did used to take me to that.
But as you say, having that close family as well will help you if any setbacks was to happen in the future and stuff like that. And it's about having that next contract every time, isn't it? You've got to keep pushing for the next contract, and it never really stops. But after, let's say now, okay, I'm looking really into the future. Would you ever look at going into coaching or something like that yourself? Because obviously, after finishing football, it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that I'd like to go into. No matter, I don't know when it might happen or when it might have to happen, but I think definitely coaching. I think I love the game. I love football. And I like to think I'm clued up a lot on on the tactical side and stuff, and I take a lot in from the coaches. So yeah, definitely. I think coaching's one avenue. I think I'd definitely like to explore. I think.
What is there one thing that like sticks with you from what a manager may have said to you? I mean, years ago or something like that. That's one thing that stuck with you, like that you keep at now, sort of thing. Because you get some managers that like, right, make sure you track back. So, for example, that'd be like one thing that someone remembers, or dribble past one and past. I mean, little things that can't. Is there anything that you can go right? That's one thing that I will never forget. A manager telling me.
I think just to enjoy yourself. I know it's but
yeah,
you're playing football to enjoy it. You don't want to be going through your career not enjoying every moment that's going. Every game I try and enjoy and express myself and be confident. I think we were told not to let this games pass you by and just forget about them, because your youth is they're the best times apparently. So from coaches that have said that, you never forget your youth memories. So I think just to enjoy every single moment and enjoy the journey, not to obviously you're stressed and you're thinking about this and that, but at the end of the day it's all part of the journey. You got to enjoy the journey just as much as the end result, I think.
And what do you think? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Then where's that? I wouldn't say end result, because you'd only be like 23, 24 then.
Yeah.
Still
obviously the end goal. Obviously the end goal is to be playing in the Premier League. That is what every footballer wants to achieve, I think. But some things don't work out and some things do. But at the end of the day, I just want to be playing football, enjoying my football, and I think that's the main thing. Obviously, getting into the Premier League is what I want. But as long as I'm playing football, I'm happy. That's important as well.
Yeah, and like the Premier League standard. So when you look at some players in the Premier League and you're like, you're awful, you are terrible, but then you think to yourself, like, the level they're actually at is
exactly,
ridiculous.
yeah.
And for you to even be that close to the Premier League is an achievement in itself. And
yeah,
it's a strange one, because I'm no football guru or anything like that, but come to end of the season, we could be talking about you having a couple of games off the bench for Everton, even in cup matches and stuff like that, especially being valued so high in the under-23s. It does seem like a lot of clubs do push the youngsters through a lot more now.
Yeah.
And do you see that a lot in Everton? Like a lot of the youngsters coming through into the first team, or because you see it, like say United and City, West Ham even they push a lot. Southampton, another one, push a lot of the youngsters through quite early.
Yeah, I think Everton have always had a good name for pushing youngsters through. You know, you see some of the players they've produced, you know, really good players. Yeah, like you don't know how quick football can change there, and that's the beauty of it. At the end of the day, you can go from you know, thinking you're the worst player ever to making an appearance in the Premier League or something, you know, in the space of 6-12 months, anything. So I think that's what I mean. You've just got to stay confident in yourself and stay confident in the club that they're going to give you the chance if you deserve it. I think Everton would.
And in the Premier League, is there one player you'd love to play against? Obviously, you mentioned De Bruyne earlier being...
Yeah, De Bruyne, I think.
So would it be like a bit of a starstruck moment if you were to come on and having to play him sort of thing? You'd be like, nah, this is not real.
Yeah, definitely. If you're sharing a pitch with any of them, it'd be fun.
You transfer him over, you do it all this. Do you know what I mean? End of the game, you'd be going, can I have your shirt, please?
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be amazing. I think if you were to play against De Bruyne, which is City, you'd be playing against a lot of good players. I mean, so it would be it'd be crazy to share the pitch with a player like that. That's the dream, hopefully. Who's
the best player you've shared a pitch with then, or even if it's an opponent, who's the best player you've played against then? Because obviously, being with Everton, you've obviously played against a lot of the young United squad, City squads. I mean, is there any one player that you might have gone, you know what, he was really good?
I think Mason Greenwood, he's obviously a standout, what he's doing with United now.
Yeah,
like the quality he has is crazy. I think he's probably set the standard for a lot of youngsters, you know, getting straight up to the United first team and scoring a lot of goals. So yeah, he's probably definitely the best player I've played against. I think we had a game against West Ham not too long ago, and we played against a few of the first team lads like Lanzini, and he was class actually. And Ryan Fredericks, the right back, was really good to be fair. So like Lanzini, he's played with Messi in Argentina and stuff, and you're like, I'm on a picture of him now. It's a bit like bloody hell, but yeah, really good professionals and stuff.
And do you ever feel like either you've got a point to prove, or that you feel a little like, shit, that's actually him there? Do you know what I mean? Because I know now, because I've definitely transferred Lanzini to someone FIFA, or you know, you do these sort of things, then for you to actually share a pitch with someone like that, it's a bit like a surreal moment, like a pinch yourself moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You in the game, you're not thinking like that, but after it, you can reflect a little bit and think like, wow, but you know. But at the end of the day, you're looking at him thinking, one day I'd want to, you know, not be playing in the 23s, but I'd want to be on a pitch where players are thinking, wow, you know, look who I'm playing against. You know what I mean? That's the aim. So he's obviously had a brilliant career and scored some brilliant goals and stuff. So yeah, I think that's what you want to get to.
One of the questions I was asked, all right, was, would you rather score the winning free kick for Everton to win the Champions League?
Yeah.
Or for Wales to win the World Cup? For the Euro, sorry, it was.
Oh, but yeah, that.
And obviously, you win either cup here. Because obviously, it's the highest trophy in the club, and it's one. I'm going to say one below in the.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think the World Cup's obviously. Oh.
I know which one I'd be straight away, even if it was any club in the world.
You're obviously going to say Wales.
100%.
Yeah, because you know you're not at the club here. It's like saying, would you rather score the winning free kick for the Wales, or would you rather your business go, I don't know, get Ronaldo, get you the nutritionist for Ronaldo?
Mate, he's been with. I'm gonna have to call him Smurber because I'll get done for slander. So he's also been promoting KFC and stuff like that, mate. So yeah, it wouldn't really bother me about him. I'd go to
Oh,
Wales every day of the week.
there you
Mate.
are then. I actually can't answer that question.
Nah.
I think no.
Top bins.
Top end, yeah. As long as it goes in the top corner, I don't care which one it is.
And to be fair, I've covered a lot of the questions whilst we were going through. Someone might ask, "What's your favourite meal?"
Ooh, favourite meal. I like a carbonara, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, carbonara with garlic bread. I think that's up there. From some nice restaurants, and I think that's the top one. I think.
That's your go-to meal.
Yeah.
If you were going out.
Yeah.
Best goal you've scored. We've kind of covered it. Being the one in Liverpool or the free kick of Wales.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Everton moving grounds, the pros and cons?
I think the only cons are that they've been at Goodison Park and that area for so long, and a lot of the fans walk to the ground and stuff, and it's very
it's community based, isn't it?
Yeah, community based. Yeah, that they are. They like the pubs. They know where they are. They know the chippies. And it doesn't sound a lot like knowing which chippy you want to go to. But at the end of the day, it's all part of the experience of the fans, isn't it? And what pub they want to go, or how they get into the ground, where they park, a lot of things like that. And obviously with the move, it's going to be different. But I think any Everton fan who's against it is a bit, stopping the development of the club. I think you've got to move on when it's right. And Goodison Park's been obviously an unbelievable ground for Everton and the atmosphere and that. But this Bramley Moor where they're moving to, I think is going to be top draw. You see Tottenham Stadium, how good that is. I think it'll bring players, it'll bring success hopefully to the club. I think it's a brilliant move for the whole club in general.
And I think as well in that it's also as you mentioned, the development, the training facilities, everything like that will just increase, which means they can offer bigger contracts to people because there's more money coming in, there's more revenue. And as you mentioned, and I think employing Rafa as a manager shows where Everton are heading, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a winner, isn't he?
Everything. And don't get me wrong, Ancelotti's also won everything, and I think that was a huge stepping stone into this is where we want to be. I mean, it's not like and a lot of people will argue, say that they should have signed Ferguson as manager, and I get that. I mean, that could be a lot of what Everton fans would want, but when you have a manager of Rafa's capability and status available, I think you'd be very silly not to let him have a chance at least.
That's what I mean. You see with Ancelotti what he did. That they were a win away, maybe a win or two away from getting into Europe. It didn't end how Everton fans wanted, but they were in a season that like no other. They were so close to getting into Europe, which was the aim. So I think this season, fresh start with Rafa, and see what happens. I think he's a brilliant manager. So if he can get the best out of the players, then who knows what they could do.
And I reckon a name like Rafa will be able to promote the club and bring a big name in. I don't know who they're going to be looking at, which position strengthening or anything like that, but he's got to have a phone book full of players that are ready to move. I mean, he's got a little WhatsApp group going on saying, right, this is happening. Merseyside, let's go. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's going to attract a lot of top players, isn't he? And that's what he wanted, like Carlo did. So yeah, I think that's one of the good things about getting him in as well.
is there any one player that you would like to see at Everton? Obviously, you mentioned De Bruyne, but someone who would fit straight in that. I mean, I don't know what role or stuff like that, but is there anyone that you would like doing?
Not off the top of my head, no. I can't think of anyone.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you have that. I'm trying to think of who they've been linked with and stuff, but I think Marcel's a really good operator and stuff, so he'll get in the right players.
Be announce Mbappe next week. Trending all over Twitter next week. Let me 2 seconds. Moving forward, next 12 months, where do you want to see yourself at 12 months from now?
Hopefully in a new contract at Everton. I think that's where I want to be. That's where I feel I can progress the best.
But yeah, does your current contract end?
My current contract ends this time next year.
Right. Okay.
I've got another year left to prove myself and stuff. So yeah, I think I've had a good first season in the under-23s. I think I did really well last season. So it's all about this getting on top of that again and doing even better if I can this season, and hopefully earning a contract, and hopefully if I can get in and around the first team at some point.
And is any things about captaincy next year? Is anything with that, or?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think that at the moment. Obviously, there's some more senior members of the under 23s who I think
you're moving up to 23, so you're not the under 19s, aren't you?
Yeah, under 23s now. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I think not captaincy yet. I don't think, but you never know in the future, do you? You never know what could happen.
Yeah, it's quite a big jump as well, isn't it? Because you go from teenagers to young adults,
exactly.
As well, as you mentioned, being stronger and stuff like that. And I think you'll be able to gauge the how to use your own weight against people as well, in your using your strength to their weaknesses. I mean, if they've got size over you might use skill against them, and I think the next year or two you'll be able to develop that. And listen, I'm no football guru telling you what to do, but
it's fine.
It's how you would perceive someone to progress in that way as well. And going from the 12-month mark, okay, to 5 years, obviously we've got the Welsh international, which, I mean, it's got to be, I mean, Euros 4 years from now, World Cup in a couple of years time as well. You got to have half an eye on them too.
Well, you don't want to look too far ahead. 4 years is a long time. Anything can happen. But you're obviously thinking that's the dream at the end of the day, and it being in the next year with squad or whatever. But I think to do that, you've got to perform at club levels. I think you can't look too far ahead in football. It's just, I know it's cliche, but every game at a time. You can't get carried away with yourself. You haven't done anything yet, or you're just as good as your last game at the end of the day, aren't you? So.
And you mentioned good as your last game. How does your review happen then? Video review. This is one thing I wanted to ask earlier on, and I completely slipped my mind. So how do you sit together and just review the game? Do you get it individually as a team? How do you?
Yeah. So
obviously, don't put too much away if you don't want to. Doing, but it's just
no. Yeah. We have an app called Huddle, which is really good, to be fair. So as soon as the game's over, it gets put on there near enough within the hour of the game finishing, so you can watch your clips back, and each little thing that happens in the game is clipped. So if I play a pass, it'll be under Rhys Hughes. If there's a cross, it'll be under Everton cross. If the opposition have a corner, it'll be in the opposition corner. So any moment in the game, or any things that you want to watch in particular, you can watch straight away. So I think it is good to be able to look back at your game and you see it differently. When you're on the pitch, you think, I should have done this. But when you look back on the huddle and look back at the game, you think, oh no, that wasn't the right thing and stuff like that. So it's a really good thing to have, and it can help you next time you play.
And do you assess that yourself, or do you assess it with Unsworth and that, or what?
No, yeah, we assess it ourselves. We, on a few times we have assessed it with Unsy and look back at some clips. But I think he knows that's our thing and something that we got to take responsibility for, to look back at our own game, and we, you can only do it yourself at the end of the day.
And so if you had any questions, did you just ask him, send him a WhatsApp, or ask him in training, be like, listen, what would you have done in this clip here? And they'd go through it. Like, is it like that?
Yeah. Obviously, if we had any queries or anything, we could ask him or John, what they're thinking. I think, if we wanted to know anything, I think you just have to ask and be open and honest with the managers and see what they think.
And when you assess it and stuff like that, do you then do you have like a little WhatsApp group with the players and be like, oh, do you see that cross? And like, do you ping messages back and forth like, oh, look, this ball that I did here?
No, to be honest, I think after the game. No, I think after the game, when we're on the bus and that's what will be happening. We'll be saying things about the game and talking about the game, and talking a lot about what happened and what we did and what we didn't. But I think, to be honest, we play at 7 o'clock at night, so we're not getting in till sometimes till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning if it's an away day or something like that, even earlier. So I don't think people have got time to be going in the WhatsApp. I think it's just straight to bed and probably watch it the next morning.
Because I was listening to Peter Crouch podcast, and he was talking about the captain having a WhatsApp group and different WhatsApp groups going on, some with the players, some with the captains, some with the managers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the insights and stories they have about footballers and stuff like that. Is any standout stories that you've got from? Obviously, you don't have to name names, so for anyone, grass up on anyone. But any standout stories that you could?
There has been some good ones. Yeah, we have a good laugh and stuff. And I think one of the funny ones we like to do, because this season we had quite a young squad, and we had a few injuries and stuff. So there's a few players who were just coming up, their first time with the 23. So some of the old lads at the back of the bus, like me, Joe Ando, he's called, Josh Bowler and Con. We were the oldest four towards the end. So what we like to do is we go on WhatsApp, and if someone doesn't have your name if someone doesn't have you as a contact, you can put your name as anything. It'll come up as anything. So we bloody changed it for, the physio saying, oh, hiya mate, it's Baz the physio. Do you mind coming down to the bottom of the bus and having a quick word about something? And then we're sitting there, and you see them stand up, and they go over and they say, "You right, Baz? Do you want to speak to me?" And then Baz is like, "No, what's the matter?" And he's like, "Well, you just text me." There's a bit of confusion in that, but we've had some good ones. In Wales, we've had them where we've got them into full kit and everything, saying that there's a cameraman waiting to take some pictures. Do you mind getting into a Wales kit? And we got the kit man onto it and everything. We can take it quite far. You could do anything with it. It's quite a dangerous thing, but we keep it within reason. But we have a good laugh with a few of them.
Full shinnies on and everything.
Oh, anything. Because if a manager or someone texts you obviously not. Even if you think it's ridiculous, you're not going to put, yeah, whatever, mate. To the manager, you don't think like that. So a lot of the lads know now what we're like. But if you don't know and it's your first time, you're going to do anything, aren't you? So you can get them doing some bloody good stuff.
Did anyone get you with all that then? Because you've clearly got that on from someone else.
Yeah, someone, I think a few years ago when I was first in the 23s, one of the lads said that you had to make Unsy a cup of tea, and I made him a cup of tea or something like that, and he didn't know what I meant, so they had me with that. But yeah, I think they're quality, to be fair.
Mate, it's been brilliant to have you on.
Yeah, it's been good.
Where can people find you then? So if your Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, I'll put in the comments below as well.
Yeah, I think obviously Everton in the 23s. If anyone wants to watch or anything, or that's where you'll find me. So.
And what's your Instagram name as well? I'll tag
that. Rhys Hughes. I don't even know, to be honest.
I'll tag it in anyway.
Yeah, I think it's Rhys Hughes 10. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's that.
I'll tag it in the comments.
Yeah.
All the best this season. I'll say we'll see you soon and see how this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good chatting to you.
Yeah, mate. All the best this season, and hopefully we'll see you on the international stage very soon as well. Not just the Premier League, because that would be quite a surreal moment, wouldn't it? If if everyone was out and having a few beers and then
that would be crazy, wouldn't it? To be fair, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rhys.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's been brilliant. To be fair, thank you very much.